Hey there, welcome to Hiker Homily number 62. Um, this is kind of a serious topic that I think doesn't get talked about a lot, other than in like minute ways sometimes. And sometimes when it is talked about, and I'll get into this, um, it can lead to what I think could be some misinformation or kind of bad advice, and that is mental health in general and hiking. You know how they mix and stuff like that. Now, the first thing I want to do though is give a whole disclaimer here. I am in no way a mental health expert. Um, I've had some basic education, both in my college days and my former career. We did take some basic, mental health classes, because in law enforcement you do deal with the mentally ill and things like that. So it's very basic stuff. But I am in absolute no way any kind of a mental health expert. I am not giving actual mental health advice. What I'm going to do here is talk about some of the things that are said in regards to mental health and hiking and things like that, and kind of, again, this is Hiker Homily, so it's my opinion on things, on that particular topic. And also, as a background, I'll just let you know that 20-year law enforcement career. I have been to a counselor after retiring. I do have PTSD. I do deal with depression and things like that. So from that standpoint, I do have some experience with the whole situation and things like that. So just kind of in general, depression, mental health issues and things like that, and hiking. In general, I do 100% agree that for the blues, for, just you're feeling down, you don't seem to have much going on and things like that, and that's just got you either melancholy or not clinically depressed, but you are just in a depressed mood, and it's a mood thing. Absolutely, any kind of physical activity can help with that. It doesn't even have to be hiking. Whether you find enjoyment in kayaking or running, bicycling, swimming, almost any physical activity is a good thing and will help fight that kind of thing, of you getting down, getting depressed like that. Now, the caveat that I see, that I need to put out there, that I see issues with sometimes online with all the folks who like to give happy advice, and I'm sure they mean well. Most of them mean well, and are just doing their best to try to give advice and stuff like that. Hiking, backpacking, all that good stuff is not a substitute for professional mental health help if you are clinically depressed, diagnosed, and all that kind of thing. Because there does exist a thing where our brain can have a chemical imbalance that makes you suffer from depression. And backpacking and hiking is not going to cure that by magic. Will it help sometimes and make you feel better? Absolutely. Again, just like any other physical activity, get your body active in things and get your mind on, oh, I'm doing this and this is fun, and sometimes you're doing with other people and that also helps and things like that. So yes, it will help you feel better. It is not a cure for clinical depression or anything severe like that. If you have that kind of condition or suspect you do, please get professional help. And I'm going to tell you right now that a lot of people are afraid, oh, I'm going to go and they're going to put me on medication, blah, blah, blah. Okay, number one, that is not necessarily a bad thing. Medication, I know several people in my life who suffer from severe clinical depression, and medication has helped them. They do much better and have a very good balanced life for the most part, much better than they would without the medication. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. And also, it is not necessarily true. I've been going to a mental health counselor now for a while, and even with PTSD issues and depression that comes along with the PTSD issues, I have not been put on a medication because that counselor has decided that's not going to work for me. Okay, this is how we're going to work through these things and stuff like that. So it is not an automatic, when I go to see a professional, they're just going to throw medication at me. That is not necessarily true, and if they do decide on medication, for the most part, it's just like doctors and everything else. None of them are perfect, and yes, some of them do make mistakes, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't just not try professional help, okay? Go over there. If there's something hinky going on and you just don't like that person, find another one, okay? But for the most part, most of them are very professional and they can help, and not all of them just jump right to meds, okay? And the ones who do say, looks like we should try this medication, it's usually because it's really what they think is going to help you the most. So go with it from there. So, and I know it's a tough choice. There's a lot of people out there, they just want to medicate me. They just want to do that. Okay, I get that. And there's, all I'm saying is it has been my experience that I've gone to professional help, counseling and things like that, and they did not just rush right out and throw a bunch of pills at me. And I have seen some folks in my life who have improved with medication. The medication helped them, and the side effects were not really there. They're okay. They're fine. They're living a normal life. Okay? So that's really that was like really the big one that I see. There's a lot of people who have this attitude, and some folks who give the advice as if it is true that, you're severely clinically depressed, just grab a backpack and head out to the woods. You'll be perfectly fine. And that's just not true. It is not a substitute for professional help. Now, do you have the melancholies? Are you sad? Are you just kind of going through a rough patch and you just want something to help you out, and maybe something totally different that you've never tried before? Absolutely. Backpacking, hiking, things like that can help with that and will make you feel better. For the most part, and sometimes you'll just be so sore in your legs and stuff that you won't notice the depression. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, any kind of physical activity, and for me, I happen to really enjoy hiking and stuff like that. It has been proven in studies that yes, it can help improve people's mood, help you fight off things like minor depression and the blues and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes people get kind of like for lack of a better term, a wanderlust. They just, I'm antsy. I don't know. I'm just sitting here. Hey, what better way to cure the old I'm just sitting here thing by getting out there and not sitting here anymore and getting out there and whatever you have around you. Now, I understand that there are some of you who just do not have that option. You live in very large urban areas. I can think of even the Bay Area, where you go from one city to another, San Jose, Santa Clara, Milpitas. You can hit all of those cities and you never see a break from urban sprawl. I mean, literally, I'm in San Jose, I go through an intersection, now I'm in Santa Clara, another intersection, I'm in Milpitas, now I'm in Fremont, and I never ever leave a city. That's how big these cities are, and they just completely slam together so that the difference between the two cities is a street. It's an intersection. You cross an intersection, you're now in a different city, and things like that. But even in the Bay Area, there are chances. If you're able to travel, you can get to the San Jose foothills, you can get to the Bay Area, the coast area, and there are places to hike and things like that. You don't have that, then instead of hiking, take a walk. There are parks, there are areas like that. Do your best to get out there and be physical, because it does help. So that's really my big take. Mental health, especially talking mostly about depression and the blues and things like that. Yes, hiking can help. But I just the big thing I really wanted to get out there, like I've said before, I think it just bears repeating, because it is such a huge thing out there that everyone thinks there's magic cure for clinical depression. If you are severely clinically depressed, there is no magic cure, no matter what you've heard. I mean, some people literally, is there a spell for this? if they're into like, neo-paganism and stuff, they just look for a spell that they can read out of a book, and they'll be cured. Or yeah, I'll put on a backpack and I'll hike the Pacific Crest Trail. I'll be completely cured of my depression. No, depression does not work that day. If your depression is a chemical imbalance, then you need to work on the chemical imbalance, and just hiking or backpacking is not going to do that. Seek professional help, please. How many celebrities, how many have we lost due to that kind of chemical, clinical depression? And they lived lives that we would all think were amazing, right? They don't have to worry about income. They've got money like that. They pick up a phone and say, hey, I'd like this, and they pretty much get it, and things like that. And yet suicide takes them away from us, because depression doesn't care. Clinical depression does not care about that stuff. It doesn't care about what we would all consider great. And it's the same thing with things like backpacking and hiking. Clinical depression does not care about that. It may be a short-term help. Hey, I do feel a little bit better out here. This is really beautiful. This is nice. But it's going to be temporary. You need the professional help, and you need to follow the professional help. Don't self-medicate with other types of drugs or things like that. Don't give up, things like that. So, yes, hike, backpack, kayak, whatever physical activity you want. It is going to help, but it should not be a substitute. It should be a supplement. In supplement to professional help and things like that, go ahead and take up a great physical activity. It will be good for you. It'll help you physically. And if you're helped physically, it will also help you mentally. And if you just have like just minor stuff, I've got the blues and man, I just don't know what to do. I'm just kind of sitting around and just, I want to get something going. Then get out there and get something going. That kind of thing, backpacking, hiking, and any other kind of physical activity definitely can cure. Clinical depression, get help, and use the backpacking and hiking as a supplement to, bolster your new feelings and helping you feel better. So that's my rant on that, kind of a rant. It is just remember, there is no miracle cure for it. There is no substitute that can just take care of it. Seek the professional help if you need it. If you're feeling like there's just no way out, there's after that your motivation, and I've been having trouble with this myself lately. It's a beautiful day out. I should have been out walking by now. I think I'm going to get out there after I get done filming this, but I'm not sure. I should have got out yesterday, but I didn't. And so I'm having trouble with my motivation, and that's where it really starts to hit you is, yes, I know in my mind this will make me feel better, but I just can't take that first step out the door. I just can't. There's just nothing motivating me. I don't, and you have to find it, because I'm not lacking support in my life. My wife is very supportive. My kids are supportive. I've got friends who support me online and in real life and things like that. Hey, it's really good. You should get out there some more. Come join us and, things like that. Absolutely, I do. And yet at the same time, my brain goes, nobody really wants you out there. Just sit down over here on the couch or over here and, So I've been active in my garden and stuff, and that gets me outside. And then once I'm in that mode, then I kind of get in the mood of, all right, well, I've been out here now and I'm doing good. I'm going to put this job down and I'm going to go for a walk. And that's how I've been doing it. If you're having trouble with that kind of thing and you just can't get going, you feel like giving up, please don't. There's almost every community I could ever think of has some kind of support line, some kind of helpline. Please find out what your local one is and use it if you have to. Don't give up. Please don't. This world is less for any of you who decide you just don't want to stick around anymore, and that's just not good. And if hiking can help you, motivate you more, and then you decide, wow, I feel a little bit better, I want to feel like this a lot more, and that gets you, so you decide to go get some help, awesome, and things like that. So please don't give up. give things a try. Get help if you need it. Don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid of the stigma. I worked in a career for a long time that there was a huge stigma. The suicide rate for retired law enforcement is gigantic because of that stigma that you are some weak person that gave into these things on the job. We're supposed to act cool and tough, and oh yeah, you saw this and you had to do that. That makes you tough. No, what it does is wear down on you mentally, and after 20 years of it, it really messes you up. And I'm still dealing with stuff. So don't go it alone. Get support, get help. At the very least, talk about it with somebody, whether it's a clergy member, a counselor, family, whatever you got. If you have nothing, then use some of those support lines. They're out there. Get a hold of somebody. So that's my big message right there: is don't give up. Don't give up. Yes, hiking, backpacking and stuff can help, but don't approach that as some kind of miracle cure. Get help and stick around with us, will you? That's Hiker Homily number 62. I hope I didn't get too serious, but I think it's an important topic, and I wanted to cover it. It is something in the hiking community we don't talk a lot about, except for, hiking is great for PTSD. Hiking is great for depression. Hiking is this, hiking is that. And no one seems to really get into the details about it, and no one acknowledges the fact that real clinical depression or severe PTSD is not just going to be like, oh, I went on a hike and now it's gone. That's not how it works. But the way some folks kind of throw it out there makes it seem like that's how it works, but it doesn't. So then people go out hiking and they come back and they're like, well, shit, I'm still depressed. These people lied to me, and that makes it even worse. So I'm trying to tell you the truth. There's no miracle cure. Get real help, and then use hiking, backpacking, whatever you want to do as a supplement to help you on the road to getting better and recovery and leading a good life. All right? As always, any comments, leave them below in the comments, or get a hold of me on Instagram. Get a hold of me on the Patreon feed if you want to, because I'm posting these videos there as well. And as always, you can get a hold of me at hikingforhealthca@gmail.com. And that is Hiker Homily number 62. I will see you next time.